Can I tell you something? You probably didn't grow up with the same mothers with your siblings. It sounds strange, but hear me out. So, hi, welcome back to this channel. If you're new to this channel, I'm a counseling psychologist and I do support women who are navigating infertility, those ones who are trying to conceive, the ones who have experienced pregnancy loss, and those who are transitioning into becoming mothers. And today we would like to zoom in into looking at children because we have been looking at children these past few episodes. And so as mothers and as children, we need to understand the perspective of children from different angles. And today we speak to children and with their siblings, and also as a mother or even a father, you can learn a thing or two concerning how your child views the world. And when we speak of you children or and now you're adults, you didn't grow up with the same mother or father. What do I mean is that different siblings or different children experience parents differently. For example, the first child, because we have the first child, the second born, the third born. I don't know which category you fall under, but I hope you're able to relate to this video as plainly as possible. So normally you have the same house, same parents, same environment where you grow up, but the problem is how the parents evolve. Even as you grow, your parents, your mothers evolve as well. So the first child tends to be the practice child. And when we speak about the first child being the practice child, it's whereby the parents learn with this child as they grow, they achieve the milestones with them. And so even as you are growing, your mother is undergoing different emotions, learning, getting to learn about different stages of life, getting to learn you as a person takes a toll on her. So sometimes you find that the first child grows up with rules, and in other households you find that the child grows up in regards to them being very complacent, and this is part and parcel of life. And you find that the second child maybe grows up in a more relaxed way with no rules, because the parent or the mother in this context already has found balance, already has known that this will happen, this is normal. And so this impacts children differently. And what I would like to tell siblings is that parents do not love differently. Parents get to raise you and they get to respond to your personality, because different children have different needs. So one child requires more emotional reassurance, another child requires more protection, and another child requires more discipline. And the problem begins when these children internalize this as different or being loved differently. And how we see this is that with every child, you see that parents maybe have matured in regards to maybe the first child, they had financial instability, they had different things going on in their life. But with over time, you see parents are stabilizing financially. Marriages also change, because with children as well, marriages change. So sometimes you find that the first child received so much love because the marriage was in a very nice place, and you end up finding that the last child did not get to experience the happiness that the first child got to experience. And so I would like to talk directly to siblings. When someone tells you that they had a different childhood or they experienced a different thing, and maybe it can be positive or negative, and all I'd like to encourage all of you is that you need to give them space, and you need to ensure that everyone is able to express themselves in a way that is bringing healing, and in a way that is bringing safety, even though their experience might be extremely different from yours. And now that we have looked at how parents, with their changes and everything, makes growth of children differently, we have to look at children as well. And every relationship with children, especially maybe you have multiple children, you have 4 children, and you'll find that every relationship with your parent, with your mother, is unique and it is totally different from your siblings. And parents tend to respond more to personality rather than you as a person. And once we are able to get to that point of acceptance, we are able to know that we were loved differently, mostly not because of how our parents felt, but mostly because of what we needed more. For example, one child, someone feels emotions deeply, another person shrugs emotions, another person takes correction as rejection, while another one takes correction as direction. And when you find these two people, then their temperament is very different. And so, as siblings, as children, you ought to reflect inward and understand, what is my personality? What is my temperament? How do I handle correction? How does it feel when someone corrects me? And when you internalize this with your siblings or even with your friends right now, you get to understand that your mother was responding into what you needed the most. So the question that I would like to leave with you guys as siblings or as children, so that you get the to the point of awareness and understanding, is, which version of my parents did I meet, instead of constantly saying my parents loved me different. And this in turn brings about a different emotional perspective. And you can also internalize and ask yourself, now that I'm an adult, do I look at my parents differently? Do I understand my parents differently? Do I understand my mother differently, or no? And so today you get to understand that even though you grew up in the same household, but you totally grew up with different parents and in different stages. Thank you so much for tuning in today. See you on the next one.